Guys, sadly I couldn't record the rest of it because I had to clock in before it even fully finished. So sadly y'all can't see it all. So I hope you guys understand that. So then please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified when I upload YouTube videos, upload YouTube shorts, and when I go live on YouTube. And keep an eye on the community tab till YouTube makes feature to where you get notified when I post in the community tab. Until then, keep an eye on the community tab. That's the reason why I rarely use the community tab. So bye guys, peace. I'm out. Which means he was cremated. There's Garrett Mitchell, Cletus McFarland.
He was a generous, adventurous spirit. He was radiant. I mean, he lit up a room. He touched so many lives. What he cared about was bringing happiness onto people's faces. We are here today to give thanks to God for Kyle's life. Thanks for all that he was. Thanks for all that light he brought into the world. We have gathered with that thanks. But at the same moment, there is deep sorrow for the loss. He loved his family. He loved Matt. He loved you. There's deep loss. You loved him. But we have gathered now in a sacred place, and we can know Thanksgiving can hold hands with sorrow. There's sadness when a good thing comes to an end, and Kyle's life was such a good thing. So we'll let our sadness hold hands with maybe even a joy, because what a life. What a life. Sadness and joy, they'll entwine themselves very gently right now. I thank God that you're here to surround this family and Matt with your love. That is an act of grace. And then together, beyond any particular religious tradition, but together we will trust in that higher hope that all is well with Kyle now, and all will be well with Matt and Kyle's family. There is life everlasting. Kyle has moved on to new adventures. We'll hold that. Will you bow with me? O God, our strength and our Redeemer, giver of life and conqueror of death, we gather to praise you with humble hearts. It's with faith in your great mercy and wisdom that we entrust Kyle to your eternal care. We praise you for your steadfast love for him all the days of his life, and we thank you for all that Kyle was to those who loved him. And we thank you, O God, that death itself is past. Kyle has entered that home where all your people gather in peace. So for his life we give thanks. For his friends we give thanks. For his family we give thanks. Almighty God, bless our sorrow this day with your infinite love. Amen. The family wanted a particular Bible verse on your mind today because Kyle was such a capacious spirit, so generous. It's in Acts 20 where Paul reminds us Jesus said it's more blessed to give than receive. Kyle did that. We begin with a reading.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Blessed are the pure, for they shall see God. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. You are the light of the world. A city set on a mountain cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and then put it under a bushel basket. It is set on a lampstand, where it gives light to all in the house. Just so, your light must shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your heavenly Father. And a reading from Psalms. Light shines through the darkness, for the upright, gracious, compassionate, and righteous. It is good for the man gracious in lending, who conducts his affairs with justice. For he shall never be shaken. The righteous shall be remembered forever.
The central miracle of God's universe is the creation of souls. What a soul Kyle is. What a soul. We'll begin to speak now of his life. His friends and his partner will speak about his life. As they do so, your heart and your mind will be filled with your own memories. God bless
Why
those.
isn't Fred involved? That's the weird thing.
I invite the speakers up, please.
I met Kyle back in 2010 at Sonic on Center Street in Omaha. At the time, Kyle was working at PayPal and had a little side gig filming race cars. I was familiar with Kyle, and I was familiar with his cool C5 Corvette from any street scene, but I was not familiar with his shenanigans, to be quite frank with you. I introduced myself and said, hey, I'm a big fan, and he spent the entire evening walking around the lot looking at cars with me. Really stood out to me. My memory of this exact day isn't awesome, but I believe I recall Kyle and Jake Allen tagging light poles and possibly the drive-through menu at Sonic with their 220 video stickers. Honestly, as a young man, it made me laugh that the successful and well-composed Kyle Loftis still had a goofy side to him. Little did I know that was barely a glimpse into the goofiness of Kyle. Over the following years, I kept running into Kyle at events and eventually started hanging out outside of automotive events and building the strongest friendship I would ever have. Kyle took me under his wing and taught me how to film racing and edit videos. I had a very brief filming career, but it started out in a 1,400 horsepower Supra. I thought Kyle said 400. I was in quite a bit of shock when the driver floored it. He spent hours at his house teaching me how to edit with Sony Vegas Pro, and to be quite frank with you, most of the time was spent complaining about how slow my laptop was. In hindsight, I really don't know why he stuck with it, but that's a really small example of how Kyle's willing to invest in people. I, as well as many people in this room, have made very valuable and substantial connections through Kyle. In fact, most of the people in this room I know are because of Kyle. He just had a special quality to him that allowed him to kick up a conversation with anyone he wanted to talk to. The skill in part molded 1320 videos into what they are today. It also inspired me not to be afraid to just talk to someone. No matter how wealthy, intimidating, or awkward seeming someone was, Kyle taught me through his actions that they're just people. They have a story, and Kyle wanted the world to hear it. Kyle was so good at this. He could connect with anyone from the struggling hobbyist who is just scrambling to make a race on no budget to the supercar collector whose single car costs more than my entire house. It's really hard to describe a man who had a worldwide impact and himself was larger than life. If you're outside the car community, you may not have realized how many people Kyle impacted and how many people adore Kyle. It wasn't until after this tragedy that it was incredibly obvious. Kyle was a man full of care, charisma, and passion. He consistently demonstrated selflessness and intended to care more about the other people in his life more than himself. There were many conversations that Kyle and I had, whether it be regarding business or personal life, where he would weigh the impacts that a decision would have and what it would have, the impact it would have on others 10 times more than it would have on himself. He really cared about other people more than he cared about himself. Kyle always tried to put his team, his family, and his friends first, sincerely. Kyle helped kickstart many careers and businesses, mine included. If there was ever a mention of a challenge or obstacle made by his friends or family, and Kyle was willing, help was offered. There's only one exception to that rule. Kyle always had to be faster than me. I spent many hours with Kyle and got to see who he truly was deep at his core. I can stand here and confidently say that I am proud to have Kyle as a role model, as a figurative brother, and my best friend. My deepest condolences go out to Linda, Kelly, Matt, and the rest of Kyle's family. Everyone in this room owes it to Kyle to be kind, help others,
And should mention all those other 1320 people.
We love you, Kyle.
I'm not crying, you're crying. We gotta do something real quick that I think all of you guys will appreciate immensely. Kyle would have wanted this, he would have done this himself. So I want everybody to get a picture with me real quick, okay? Alright, got it. Alright, love you, Mom. Kyle Loftis, where do we start, guys? Literally one of the greatest people to ever walk this earth, to be honest with you. The impact that he had on not only the car community as a whole, but just the world in general is pretty amazing. The last week or so has really brought that to light for a lot of people who might not have even known Kyle existed, just through social media, all the shares and stuff like that. But Kyle had a huge impact, guys, really, really big. A lot of us wouldn't be in this room today with the stories that we have, with the lives that we live, with the businesses that we have, if it wasn't for Kyle. I know that he had that impact in my life. I said I wasn't going to cry, guys. I'm going to cry. Streetcar takeover wouldn't be a thing. What my family has wouldn't be a thing. The friendships that I have and that I owe to all of you guys would not be a thing. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I'm forever grateful to Kyle for that, okay? Some of the best nights of my life, racing out on the highway, allegedly, never happened. Unlike Ben, I was faster than Kyle. Quite a bit faster. In fact, I think we're like 20-1 in races. He only beat me in a cruise control race one time. So if you guys don't know what cruise control race is, look it up, it's real fun. Other than that, you know, some of the greatest trips in my life also were with Kyle. Big rock guys. Big rock guys. Yep, big rock guys. Going to Colorado, we had a rental side-by-side, and we tore up that whole entire state. And what really impacted me on that trip is after the fact, Kyle came up to me and was talking to me and said, you know what my favorite part of this trip was? And I was like, what's that? He's like, hearing you, Vince, Randy, and Beal screaming up every single trail, big rock guys, the entire way up it, because we would let them cruise up there in their Jeeps and their Toyotas, and we would just blast that rental side-by-side up there like we had, oh man, it was a mess. To the late night scooter rides. If you never had a chance to go on a late night scooter ride with Kyle Loftis around the lake, some of my favorite memories with Kyle are doing that. A couple months ago, I had the pleasure of doing one last one with him. I know my mom's here, but we did bring some beers on the scooters, and we just sat by the lake and talked till like 4:30 in the morning. And I think we solved every single world problem that night. And one of the greatest nights of my life, and I'm very, very honored to have that memory with him. Guys, like I said, the impact of Kyle is amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I want everybody to hang on to that, especially in the upcoming months and stuff like that. I think that this doesn't end here. It goes on forever. And there's a lot of people in this room that will make sure that it goes on forever, and we need to hold on to that. Lean on Jesus, guys. This is going to be a rough next forever, I think, honestly. Because like I said, it doesn't end here. We're going to keep going, but we're going to be missing a big part of it. And that hurts really bad. But I know that these boys in this front row right here, they'll take care of a large portion of that. I know that this family over here is going to take care of a large portion of that. And the industry as a whole is going to hold everybody up. And that's the impact that Kyle had, always putting everybody else in front of him, myself and my family included. And we're going to miss him a lot. So, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I lost $300. I'm crying. But, man, it's going to be a good day. It really is. So, we love you guys. One more thing that Mom wanted us to talk about, too. I know a lot of you guys buy your race cars and stuff. Please be respectful around Lincoln heading out tonight. We don't want to be the bad guys, especially today. I know we're real good at that. So let's not do that today. But we love you guys. Thank you for being here. To be literally not the end of the story, but a big part of it. And it's one of the greatest stories ever told, especially in the automotive community. This is it's a big one, guys. All right. I love you. I don't even know how to end it off, guys. Thanks.
My name is Jay Morales. I'm the co-founder of the 50 Mile March organization. I want to share today and use my time to highlight the generosity of one man's heart. I want to remind you that one person can make a difference. The 50 Mile March is an organization that is dedicated to supporting veterans. I got a phone call one day a few years back. It was at my son's football game. And he said, is this Jay? I said, yes. He said, who's this? He said, Kyle. I said, okay. Cool. What does a 50-mile march do? I said, this is what we do, this is what we do. He said, okay, thanks, and he hung up the phone. I Googled the number and it traced back to some guy named Kyle Loftis. I was like, no, I was telling my friends this guy from 1320 video called us. He's gonna make us famous. Sure, Jay, sure. He didn't call us Kyle Loftis 1320 video the day he called because he cared about veterans. Then I got introduced to his dad. And I met Mama Loftis too. And Steve was at the end of line there too, and we spent some good time together. Steve said to me, watch over him, would you? I can't get that out of my head. For most of you who don't know what 50 miles is, 50 miles is 22 hours. It's a little longer than 1,320 feet. It's 22 hours of grit, determination, strength, mental fortitude. Kyle was not only the largest single donation to our organization when it was just on the map, he put us on the map. He honored his father. I carried Uncle Max on my back. I met Kelly at the ice cream cruise. Matt, we've exchanged so many stories on behind Kyle's back while we were walking. But do you understand that he just didn't write a check? He participated and trained and probably gave our organization 60 to 120 hours a year, had us out. I've met so many good people because of one person. Yeah, all the YouTube followers in the world, the likes, social media posts. When he talked to people in our organization, they didn't even know who he was, but they knew his impact because he saw them. Kyle is the kind of guy who didn't want to be famous. He wanted to bring his spotlight to others. We were one of a few organizations in this local area that he made an impact on. And it wasn't just the money, it was his time. It was his talent. It was all of you. I was speaking with Melissa right here and Chase before. It's changed my entire speech. I can tell you how great he is, but you already know that. Linda, Kelly, Matt, there is a void. I want to acknowledge that. There's this valley right now that we're all in. And I want to challenge people to fill that void. And here's how you can do it. Don't wait till someone passes away to let them know you love them. 10, 15 minutes to a friend you haven't spoken to in years, that will go a long way. Volunteer, I can't even begin to tell you how much time Kyle gave away. 5 minutes, 5 hours, he was at our qualifier. He gave his last. He always took the second piece. He always gave you the first seat. What he taught me is that one person can make an impact. And Matt, with your blessing, and Kelly, and Linda, with your blessing, I'd like to carry him on my back every year, right next to Steve's. And I promise you, his name will never die with us. And I just want you to remember his generosity is what I wanted to highlight to you today.
these guys did a great job pointing out how effortlessly Kyle helped everyone around him, and kickstarting careers, you know, you said, that's an understatement. I cannot count how many times Kyle has kickstarted someone's career or passion and set their life on a different trajectory than they could have ever imagined, and it truly is unbelievable the type of guy he was. It's also incredible how many friends Kyle had. I think he had more friends than anyone that I know. He was one of the kindest, most loving people, and could talk to anybody, but, you know, just had the widest variety of friends. I mean, you look around the room, and the variety of people that Kyle brought together was truly astonishing. And his unique skill for bringing people together was one of his best. If you look around, there's a good chance Kyle introduced you to the person you're sitting next to. His passion for cars, however, was absolutely contagious. A lot of us had no idea the journey we were about to go on. We met Kyle. When I met Kyle, funny you mentioned this, it was also at the Sonic, and man, Kyle loves Sonic. I don't know how much he boosted the economy for Sonic, especially in the Nebraska area, but he deserves some credit there. But I rolled up to the Sonic at 180th and Center after getting an invite from Chase here. And I remember seeing this guy sticking a GoPro to a Fox body. And at the time, you know, GoPros had just come out, YouTube was kind of just becoming a thing. I didn't really know what was going on. But I had no idea this was Joey's beer bomb that he was putting his GoPro on. And just a few minutes later, Fox body is pulling out. There's these street bikes behind it. Kyle's in the car right behind. He's got this huge camera. Never seen anything like this, you know. And I'm like 15 years old. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I jump in my car and I'm following these guys. And Kyle's in the car behind, coordinating the race. Sure enough, they raced right down Center Street, back towards the meet, and then they pull in, and I'm like, that was the first street race I'd ever seen. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I go up to Kyle, you know, because I can tell this guy, I think he's in charge of this deal. And I'm just like, what are you going to do with this video? You know, that's so cool. And he's like, oh, I'm putting it on my YouTube channel, 1320 video. It'll be up in the morning. I'm like, holy cow. This is the coolest guy I've ever met. So I go home, probably like most of you once you met Kyle, you binge watched 1320 videos. Right? I watched as many videos as one guy could watch in one night. And I was completely mind blown. After just one interaction period with Kyle, my love for cars had multiplied by 10. From this point on in my life, all I wanted to do was be a part of Kyle's crew. And I think a lot of you guys can relate to this, but all I wanted was one of those 1320 video shirts that said Film Crew on it. And I just wanted to be around Kyle and see what he was doing, because obviously he was doing cool stuff, and everybody there loved him, and you know, I could just tell he was the guy that brought this together. And I wanted to be like him. This was the first time in my life that I had been inspired by someone. And this is just a small example of how easily Kyle inspired other people. He did it without even trying. I mean, you can't watch a 1320 video without wanting to put a bigger turbo on your car, right? And you can't watch a video without wanting to pick up your phone and film your own video, right? It's just inspiring the way that he made this content. Kyle's passion for cars was extremely strong, right? That's what we all know him for. But if you really knew him, his passion was actually just for documenting everything. And I can guarantee if he was here, he'd have the most photos and videos on a cell phone in this room. And he'd probably have about 100 photos already from this morning. Maybe that's
maybe that's not enough. Maybe like 250 photos by this time in the day, because he would have saw that brick structure outside, taken 20 photos of that. He would have came in, taken photos of all of this, all of you guys, and that was one of his best attributes. But it was almost exhausting how many times he would take photos. I mean, he'd pull his phone out for anything, and there was no stopping that. I mean, I remember just driving down the road in Australia. Cooper and I were talking about this last night, and there's a train on the side of the road that's like just driving, you know, just jooching along, and it slams on the brakes. We switch so he can film from the passenger seat, and I mean, we're following this train for like 20 minutes, you know, just getting videos, rolling shots of it. And that's just some of the footage that, you know, never saw the day. I'd love to know a statistic on how much of his content actually saw the light of day, but I mean, it's got to be like 5%, because he took so many videos and pictures. And Matt and Fred, I'm sure you'll remember this. Man, we went to this zoo in Australia, and I'm not kidding. Kyle took a picture of every animal in the zoo. I'm like, Kyle, surely we can pass, you know, this exhibit with like these little birds, but we literally got a photo and video of every animal in the zoo, and then on the way back, got another one. And I think a lot of you guys can remember when Kyle first downloaded Snapchat. None of us were ready for how many Snapchats Kyle was about to take. I don't think the servers at Snapchat were ready. I mean, he had to be the #1 user of Snapchat, or top 5. I mean, his Snap stories were so long, like, to get through them was incredible. And at this point in his life, too, he wanted the permanent version, too, but because Kyle was so particular, you know, downloading the Snapchat didn't count. So he would Snapchat something, then switch to his camera, and then retake the picture and the video. So it really extended the process, but it was, you know, just, if he chose you for that day, you were on his Snapchat list, like you must have been in the recents or in a group chat, like you're getting at least 100 Snapchats, cars, birds, food, puppies, you name it, and it was incredible. But he just loved documenting stuff, and it didn't matter if it was a car, or his friends, or anything interesting. He was so good at going out of his way to do that, and I'm going to miss those Snapchats a lot. I also think Kyle was one of the best leaders that we could have asked for when we worked for him. And whether you worked for 1320 Video directly or you were a volunteer at one of his events, like I know many of you have done, he really just treated us all right. The meetings before the events were so fun. Like, they were more of a party than they were a meeting. I don't know how he pulled that off, but it was awesome. And he just made these creative shirts and so many little things. Never left a detail untouched. And it was awesome for us employees. It was really great. And he never stopped just there, you know. He always went the extra mile to make sure that his employees or volunteers were really taken care of, and really went out of his way for us. I love Kyle's sense of humor. I mean, you really had to go out of your way to piss him off. I mean, you could get away with a lot. I remember one time Alec and I went to the front desk of our hotel, told him we needed a key for his room. Went in his room at like 2 a.m., you know, we had a few drinks, and we put pizza all over him. We put pizza on his arms. And then Matt, you were there. You were sleeping too. And I just remember we're in this crappy hotel, the walls are paper thin, and I hear Kyle wake up, and I can hear through the paper thin walls his WTF, followed by that signature giggle that he had, you know. And then he comes out of the room, you know, knows it was us. It was just, never once did he have a moment of like anger, you know. He was just really such a bright, humorous guy. Another funny story, just one more before I go. I remember Kyle had this brand new drone. It was right when DJI came out, right? Like, this is state of the art. and we're in Colorado. There's a waterfall. Of course, Kyle's all over this, right? Like, this is a waterfall. That's like Kyle's phone is out of his pocket. You know, we're like a magnet to this thing. I don't even know what happened to whatever mission we were on before that, but we saw the waterfall. Drone is out. This is like the first flight. You know, batteries are charged. We get it hooked up. And Kyle's getting so close to the waterfall with the drone because he's just getting such good video, you know? And ultimately, the drone flew into the waterfall and was never found, you know? But that's our boy Kyle. Like, he was always going the extra mile for the best video and picture possible. That tells the whole story of Kyle. Like, he would never miss a shot. Like, he had to get in there, get the right picture, get the right video. It was awesome. We're so dang lucky to have Kyle when we did, so let's not let his legacy disappear. It's time to spread the great word of 1320 video more than ever. Wear your shirts, wear your hats, keep tagging those stickers wherever you go. And most importantly, remember to smile like Kyle.
So Kyle grew up running the hallways of this church, was confirmed here. He became an Eagle Scout. That's no small thing. It's an expression of that goodness in him. He died too soon. And I remember standing here when we said goodbye to Steve, and know that the whole church is praying for you, Kelly, and Linda, and family. Whole church. He died too soon, but not before a lot of love, and not before meeting Matt, like 2013, right? Thanks be to God. They had a life together. Thanks be to God. Matt.
Today we are here to celebrate the life of Kyle, and honestly it's hard to put into words just how much he meant to so many people. Kyle was an Eagle Scout, an entrepreneur, a mentor, a YouTuber, a photographer, a free spirit, a fun lover, a race car driver, and above all else, a friend. Those titles only scratched the surface of who he truly was. What truly made Kyle special was the way he made people feel. He had an amazing smile, an infectious and unforgettable laugh, and he wanted nothing more than to make people smile right alongside him. You could call him about absolutely anything. And no matter what it was, he would listen. He always wanted to help, to give advice, or simply to talk you through whatever you were facing. Kyle had this rare ability to make people feel loved, accepted, and important. When you were with him, you felt like you mattered. I'll never forget the first time I met him. I woke up from a quick nap on my inner tube during one of his famous post-ice cream cruise river floats. It was a good day. He was sitting there asking me if I was doing okay. I don't think I really was, but I remember just looking into his brilliant green eyes that radiated kindness and warmth. From the very beginning, I knew there was something special about him. His love for adventure and fun made even the most ordinary moments feel extraordinary. Whether it was racing, photography, cars, or just spending time with the people he loved, Kyle brought passion and energy into everything he did. I have so many good memories with Kyle because honestly we were together all the time. But some of my favorite memories were the trips where it was the two of us exploring